Hello friends, welcome back again. Today is a lecture for 11th standard. Students who have gone into the 11th standard SSC and CBSE boards. It is about complex numbers again, which we had started the other day. Okay? लेकिन यह अलग किस्म का प्रॉब्लम है. Find the square root of a complex number. Usually asked, sometimes it was asked for CET, sometimes JEE, कॉलेज एग्जाम में भी पूछते हैं. तो कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर का स्क्वायर रूट कैसे निकालना है? दोज हु डोंट नो कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर, प्लीज सी माय अर्लियर वीडियो, हाउ द कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर वाज ओरिजिनेटेड, हाउ इट वाज डिराइव्ड एंड वॉट एवर द फॉर्मूले. ओके, बीच में आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग यू द फॉर्मूले, नो प्रॉब्लम. लेट अस स्ट्रेट अवे गो टू द प्रॉब्लम. ओके, चलो देखेंगे स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ अ कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर. So this is from miscellaneous exercise chapter 1, question 5. Find the square root of 3 minus 4i. Okay, square root of 3 minus 4i. Now our first step is, let square root of 3 minus 4i is equal to a plus bi. लिख लो. Let square root of 3 minus 4i is equal to a plus bi. Okay, now why did I write this step? हर एक स्टेप के लिए you should ask yourself why. This is a complex number. Complex number, you have a real part, you have a imaginary part. So square root will also have a real part and imaginary part. No rocket science. Okay, so root of 3 minus 4i, let it be a plus bi. A is the real part, b is the imaginary part. Where a and b, this symbol means belongs to set of real numbers. R means real. यानी a और b real number ही है. Like over here, 3 is a real number, minus 4 is a real number. But when minus 4 is combined with I, it is called as imaginary number. Okay, so a and b themselves are real. Just a way of writing. Clear? Now one important thing, don't do one silly mistake. Square root यहाँ पे पूछा है तो square root of 3 is root 3, square root of 4 is 2. नहीं, a plus bi find out करने के लिए एक procedure है, how to find the square root. Okay, directly root of 3 और root of 4 नहीं लेना है. Okay, so let's see the steps now. Now squaring, I want to get rid of this root sign. So squaring both sides, ये जो root sign है, I want to get rid of that root sign. So let us square both sides. तो यहाँ पे square किया left hand side को, यहाँ पे square किया. Squaring both sides. तो squaring करने के बाद we know the rule. Root and square gets cancelled. Only 3 minus 4i remains. Right? But on the right hand side, you have to square this a plus bi bracket squared. Now one more silly mistake that can happen, you may write this as a squared plus b squared I squared. nahi, a plus b bracket squared. Okay, this is your a, this is your b bracket squared. So a plus b bracket squared formula क्या है? a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So look here carefully, a squared plus 2a into bi plus bi का squared b squared I squared. That is the formula, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Clear? So left hand side square root sign goes, right hand side we get all this. Okay, बीच में I'll be telling you, मैं बोलता रहूँगा कहाँ silly mistakes हो सकती है, कहाँ silly mistake हो सकती है, कैसे avoid करनी है. For example, over here I just told you. Okay. So that day we saw complex number is based on only one basic formula. That formula is I squared equal to minus 1. जहाँ जहाँ पे I squared है वहाँ पे minus 1 substitute करो. Right? We took one problem that day. So you have got I squared over here. So I will just show you the step. So if I put minus 1 over here, what do I get? B squared into minus 1. Now b squared into minus 1 is minus b squared. Okay, so wherever we get I squared के जगह माइनस 1 डाला तो सामने की साइन बदल जाएगी, प्लस बिकम माइनस, बिकॉज b squared into minus 1 is minus b squared. Okay, for all problems of square root we are going to get this equation on the right hand side. Clear? तो क्या क्या किया है? Squaring both sides, root sign goes, a plus b bracket squared formula used. Now a squared minus b squared I have taken them together, एक साथ में लिया है, 2abi को सेपरेट किया है. Okay, why? Because on the left hand side if you see 3 is the real part. How do you recognize the real part है क्या? Without I. 3 के सामने कुछ है, there is no I, so 3 is the real part. A squared minus b squared is a real part because there is no I along with it. So अगर उसके साथ imaginary part नहीं है, it is our usual real number, real part. That is the reason I have taken these two real numbers together, real parts together, and 2abi imaginary part को separate किया है. उसको बोला है साइड को जाओ जरा, we don't want imaginary part, so just take it aside. Right. Now there is a thing called equality of complex numbers. Equality of complex numbers means you can equate real part equal to real part, and imaginary part, that is 2ab, equal to imaginary part, that is minus 4. Don't take I with that, we are just forming equations. So what did I say just now? This real part equal to real part. Why? Because I have got a equal to sign. So a squared minus b squared equal to 3, equation 1. Imaginary part means I के सामने जो है उसको imaginary part बोलते हैं. इधर I के सामने क्या है? minus 4. So imaginary part equal to imaginary part. Simple सी बात है. Okay? Because of this equal to sign we are equating. Right. So this is the first equation, this is the second equation. So from the second equation, get the value of b. b is equal to minus 4 upon 2a. Minus 4 ऊपर है, upon 2a comes in the denominator. Right? Minus 4 upon 2a. So 2 2s are 4. b is equal to minus 2 upon a. So when we equate imaginary parts, we always get the equation of this type, b equal to something. Okay? समझ में आया? Right. Real part equal to real part, imaginary part equal to imaginary part, from that get the value of b. Now how do we solve these two equations simultaneously? Okay? Now these pair of equations are also simultaneous equations. जो साथ में simultaneous solve करते हैं उसको simultaneous equations ही बोलना पड़ेगा ना. लेकिन difference क्या है? You don't have equations like a plus b is equal to 3, a minus b is equal to 4 and so on. Second equation is of the form b is equal to minus 2 upon a. So how do we solve them? Simple. This value of b substitute in equation 1. ये जो b की वैल्यू है from imaginary part, put that value in equation 1. This method is applicable for all such sums of square roots. You can try certain sums from the textbook later on. So this value of b I am putting over here in equation 1. So what do I get? a squared minus b के जगह minus 2 upon a. ये देखो b के जगह minus 2 upon a bracket squared equal to 3. So we have to solve this equation to get the answer now. Let's see. So a squared minus, this minus sign remains outside, minus 2 का squared 4. Again कहाँ पे silly mistake हो सकती है? यू ट्राई टू चेंज दिस माइनस टू प्लस, नहीं, ये माइनस साइन पहले से ही बाहर है, -2 का स्क्वायर सिर्फ 4 लिखा है, दिस माइनस साइन गोज, a का स्क्वायर a स्क्वायर इक्वल टू 3. ओके, now multiply each term by a squared. I don't want a squared in the denominator, so a squared into a squared multiply each term by 3. A squared gets cancelled. A raised to 4 minus सिर्फ 4, a squared has gone, a squared into a squared, a raised to 4, 2 plus 2 is equal to 3a squared. Or take all terms on one side, okay. Now this I am going to write as, यहाँ पे लिखता हूँ, a raised to 4 I am going to write as a squared raised to 2. 2 into 2 is 4 minus 3a squared minus 4 equal to 0. क्यों लिखा है ऐसा? Why? Because in 10th standard you had type solving equations, substitution method. A squared is here and a squared is here. दोनों जगह पे a squared है, so I am going to write let a squared equal to m. You need to substitute over there, na? A squared equal to m. Okay? So if you put a squared equal to m, what do you get? यहाँ पे m डाला तो m squared. A squared is m, m squared minus 3m, a squared is m, minus 4 equal to 0. So in order to get a quadratic equation, I am using the substitution, put a squared equal to m, that I will require later on. How do you solve this quadratic equation? 10th standard method. m squared के सामने 1 है, you have minus 4 here. So 1 into minus 4, minus 4. 1 into minus 4, minus 4. Factors of minus 4 whose sum is minus 3. Simple से factors है. Minus 4 plus 1. This is just a revision of 10th standard quadratic equation. Minus 4 into plus 1 is minus 4. And minus 4 plus 1, when you add, you get minus 3. So these are the two factors. So I am going to substitute over here. Factorize. If nothing is common, 1 is common, repeat the bracket. So m minus 4 into m plus 1 equal to 0. Now you can do this orally. M minus 4 equal to 0 gives you m equal to 4. M plus 1 equal to 0 gives you m equal to minus 1. This process is a bit lengthy, so it is a 4-mark question, but once you get used to it, you will be able to solve it more easily, faster. Okay, so let's see now. Don't forget a square equal to m. So resubstitute for m. Resubstituting value of m. Straight away neglect a square equal to minus m, minus 1. Because square of a real number cannot be negative. हम लोग starting में ही बोले थे where a is a real number. A is a real number, B is also a real number, although this part is called as imaginary part. Actually both are real numbers, A and B. So I am getting square of a real number is minus, which is not possible, so neglect that. So I get a squared equal to 4, or a is equal to root of 4. A is equal to plus minus 2. Okay, a is equal to plus minus 2. Now comes the last part of finding the value of b. Okay, so let us come to the last part now. Case 1. A is equal to plus 2. अभी b की वैल्यू कहाँ पे सब्स्टिट्यूट, हाउ विल यू फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ b? Get the equation of b. Substitute in equation. Equation 2 आपके पास है, देखो सब्स्टिट्यूट करो वहां पे. What was the value of b? Just check. I just rub this out. Just check the value of b. Okay, so b was minus 2 upon a, right? Therefore, b is equal to minus 2 upon 2. A is 2. So b is equal to minus 1. Clear? So I get a is equal to 2 and b is equal to minus 1. First answer. Therefore, square root of 3 minus 4i, we have taken a plus bi, that is 2 minus 1i. That is the first answer, or you can just write 2 minus I. One possible case. Okay, why one possible case? Because I have taken a is equal to 2 here. How to get the value of b? From equation 2, which we had written earlier. B is equal to minus 2 upon a, put the value of a, you get the value of b as minus 2 upon 2 is minus 1, right? Okay, now case 2, a is equal to minus 2. This is the last case, last few steps. When a is equal to minus 2, वापस b की इक्वेशन लिखो. Minus 2 upon a, that is minus 2 upon minus 2, minus minus gets cancelled, 1. So b equal to 1. तो ये b की वैल्यू, a की वैल्यू, right? Again, second possibility answer. A is minus 2, b is 1. Minus 2 plus 1i or minus 2 plus I. These are our two answers, which should be written in one common step now. This is an interesting thing. दोनों आंसर मिल गए ना, तो कंबाइंड आंसर लिखने की जरूरत है. एग्जामिनर विल चेक ओनली फॉर दैट कंबाइंड आंसर. Final answer. Root of 3 minus 4i is equal to, अभी क्या करना है देखो, this is one answer, this is one answer. Select any one answer. 2 minus i select किया, उसके सामने सिर्फ प्लस और माइनस लिखो, दैट्स ऑल. आप सोचेंगे ऐसे कैसे हो गया? बिकॉज 2 minus i के सामने if you take plus sign, if you open up the bracket with plus sign, what do you get? Plus 2 plus into minus is minus i. This is the first answer. If you open up the same brackets using minus sign, what do you get? Minus 2 minus of minus plus i. Interesting? So this is the way to write the combined answer. Select any one answer, उसके सामने प्लस माइनस साइन डालो, और बनता भी है क्योंकि स्क्वायर रूट इज ऑलवेज प्लस माइनस. Square root of 16 is plus minus 4. So similarly, square root of a complex number has to be plus minus. So that is the better way of writing. And why I told you. Okay? Practice करो, 4 mark के लिए कॉलेज में पूछते हैं, can be asked in certain competitive exams also. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Share it everywhere. There is no harm in sharing good things. Share करो बिंदास, कोई problem नहीं है. College groups, your friends, okay? WhatsApp groups, share everywhere. Right? Fine. That will be all for today. Ask me your doubts. I am there for you. Bye.